All right. Still had to switch camera. Hold on one second. Still had to switch my camera. Oh, when I move. All right. While I like being on location, it takes a lot. All right, y'all. So here we go. Switch to the camera one. All right. So welcome, 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 welcome. If you saw the thumbnail, of course I asked, has Kevin Stefanski been fired yet? We're gonna talk about the narratives that are being pushed, which kind of suggests they're not gonna fire Kevin Stefanski. And they might, but it's gonna be at the end of the season. So these last 4 games, you can consider them to be trap games. Let me know if y'all can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. Yesterday, somebody said I was in and out a little bit. So let me know if we got that fixed. All right. Shiloh has moved officially to Miami. Now, for the people feeling sorry for Shiloh, once you see his new crib, go check out his video. Nothing to feel sorry about. Shiloh got a nice crib with a pool in Miami. Now, yeah, of course, I've been to Miami, and I know that real estate is expensive. But yeah, he got a pool, really nice house. He brought his piano with him. I was thinking it was one of the places like the first spot that was like in a high-rise building, but this one is totally different. It looks like a tall structure, like because you can see the glass staircase. So it's given 2 to 3 stories. The fridge looking like a huge Viking Wolf Sub-Zero, something exotic, high end. You can see the light fixtures hanging in the bedroom. The bedroom is expansive. And then he interviewed Shadur. We got a clip of the interview from Shadur. We're probably gonna be talking about this because Shiloh said something that I thought shows that he'll be fine without NFL in his own mind. People were asking him what he was going to do, like movies and stuff like that. He said, I really like the content creation. And I said, there it is. There it is. We were saying that from the beginning. Shiloh, is doing well in the content space. Keep going, keep going. And then this last video from Thanksgiving, he's over 1.1 million views. He's close to 300,000 subs. So hopefully he'll get there. ESPN is already sharing clips from his podcast episode. He's already on it. Darius did the interviewing. So now that downtime for Colorado, Darius is maybe going to be the videographer for Shiloh going forward. Darius is an excellent interviewer, by the way. Excellent interviewer. So let's see. Now, let me tell you what's happening with the narratives. On X, somebody, a Shadur Sanders fan, pointed out, they posted, Shadur is greater than Jackson Dart. And they used the greater than sign multiple times in Jackson Dart. And when I tell you that has started a war on the internet, understand that's the conversation they didn't even want to have. That's the conversation they didn't even want to have. See, we looking at Shadur being held back because Dylan held it back. But let's just take a bigger look here. We know Jackson Dart was drafted unjustly in front of Shadur. We know that. We know they tried to pit Dart against Shadur. Turns out, they're friends, they know each other. That's just football politics. But we also said one of the reasons the Browns or the NFL, see, the NFL got its own agenda. The draft. Think about the draft. And then the Browns got its own agenda. And then in some places, they overlap. See, the NFL's job was to hold back 17 of 32 black quarterbacks. Therefore, putting Dart and Shiloh in front of Shadur kept the majority of the QB1s when the draft night 1 finished, the first round, white. It was supposed to be 17 with Shadur. So bypassing Shadur and putting Dart 17, Tyler Shaw 18. So you see they kept the majority. That's what that was about. And that's the NFL's doing. That's the draft. And then you come over here to Cleveland and they keep Flacco, Pickett, and Dylan in front of Shedeur. Flacco sucked up reps and left. technically burned up some games too, right? Pickett sucked up reps, left. Dillon sucked up games and reps and got benched. Not a coincidence. Andrew Berry already got his 2 picks back that he used to get Shedeur. Not a coincidence. It took an injury for Shedeur to play in the Panthers preseason game. Not a coincidence. It took an injury for Shedeur to get in the Ravens game. It's starting to all align after seeing Haslam's interaction with Coach Prime and then the way the game played out, the Titans game. It's starting to look like this whole Shedeur to the Browns, late, devalued, held back, injury gives an opportunity, held back, the season wasted, injury gives an opportunity. Shedeur gets the last 4, the toughest stretch. It's starting to look premeditated. It's looking very premeditated. The NFL premeditated for sure. And see, the NFL didn't just stop at holding Shedeur back and taking Dart and Shilo and Dart and Tyler Shaw in front of Shedeur. They had to take it a step further with the defamation and the humiliation. Remember, the NFL gave out Shedeur's number. I want to be very clear when I say this. There's absolutely nowhere for the NFL to hide. None, nowhere. The truth is spilling out the bag. And I'm going to tell you what they thought. And now you're going to see why it backfired and you're going to see why it was premeditated. See, they thought because they got their way in the draft, not drafted Shedeur number 17, they maintained whiteness at the QB position with Jackson Dart, 17, Tyler Shaw, 18, right? The Giants never had a black starting quarterback drafted in the first round, and they still don't. They drafted Abdul Carter, but he's not a quarterback. He's black, the most important position on the team. Now you can see why they drafted Abdul Carter first. Because they shunned Shedeur, but they still drafted a black guy, but he's not the most important position on the team. And he over there embarrassing the hell out of them with that corn in the meetings. Jackson Dart has played 10 games. Hasn't thrown for 300 yards yet. Shedeur Sanders has played 3.5 games and lit up 393 yards in 1 game. People still looking for Rex Ryan. Is he on the back of a milk carton? You would think in that game we would have saw Andrew Berry doing somersaults and flip-flops because he loved to come out when Shedeur win. But this is a game he should have popped out. Everybody knows Shedeur won while the Browns chose to lose. When you have a quarterback giving you 393 yards, 4 touchdowns, and you take him off the field, you didn't want to win. And you know you didn't want to win because look at who you brought in and held him behind. Considering Shedeur was going to be the number 2 pick overall, the Browns knew exactly who Shedeur was. They told you that. We knew he's a good kid. We knew he was going to come in. We knew he was going to work hard. And we knew Shedeur was going to outproduce his 5th round draft stock. They knew all of it. But what they didn't know is that it would only take 1 game with essentially no O-line, receivers left and right dropping the ball. They thought the fix was in. They had no idea that in 1 game that they planned to lose, this young man is so like that he didn't need 5 games to get warmed up. He didn't need the coach to get him warmed up because he didn't. He just needed the ball in his hands and the ability to pass it. And even when the receivers kept dropping the ball, it didn't matter. He only needed 1 person to catch it, Harold Fanning Jr. They had no idea that this late in the season, that in 1 game was all it was going to take for Shedeur to prove multiple things at one time. That he should have been a number 1 pick overall. That he was better than Jackson Dart, who they bypassed him for. That he's hellified better than Tyler Shaw, who they bypassed him for. That he's light years better than Dillon, who they set him behind and wasted the season behind. That he was going to be better than Flacco. Understand the narrative that's happening here. Because Shedeur lost to Cam. Shedeur should have been the number 1 quarterback. Cam is trash. Cam ain't trash. Cam is not trash. Because if you watch that play with Greg Delpit trying to take down Cam and Cam pushing him to the ground. Cam ain't trash. And I said, why y'all want to run over to Tennessee to talk about what quarterback Shedeur is better than? You could be right here in Cleveland. And don't stop at Dillon. Dillon wasted 5 games. How many did Flacco waste? You never needed Flacco. You bypassed Shedeur. You went to CU's pro day. You pretended you was going to get Shedeur and you was going to get Travis. That's your season winning right there. And you could have had them both. And you pretended you was going to get them both. But when you left CU pro day 6 days later, you got Flacco off his couch because you knew you was going to bypass Shedeur and dropped him like a bad habit 2 weeks before the draft, which is a bait and switch because everybody else had already interviewed, done their 30 for 30s and got their quarterbacks. Everybody already knew that it was going to be the Browns on the inside because they made it clear. They made it crystal clear. So you ain't got to run to Tennessee to say Shedeur should have been a number 1 overall pick. Shedeur should have been a starter from week 1. You didn't need Flacco. You didn't need Pickett. You didn't need Dillon. But you bypassed Shedeur and got all 3 of them and strung up each one of them to take up reps, take up games. So Shedeur would have to wait to the end of the season because you already knew what the schedule was going to be, and you left the toughest part in the dead of winter for him. And it took him 1 damn game to do what Jackson Dart has not done in 10 games. 393 yards. Jackson Dart through 10 games has not thrown for 300 yards. And Shedeur did that shit with no O-line, and Jackson Dart got Fort Knox protecting him. 1 game proved the NFL was wrong for taking him off the draft board. Proved the NFL was wrong for putting Dart and drafting Dart above Shedeur. Proved that the Saints were wrong for drafting Tyler Shaw in front of Shedeur. Proved that the Browns were wrong for pre-drafting with Shedeur up until 2 weeks before the damn draft. You're going to be our franchise quarterback. And dropping him like a bad habit to go get Pickett, Flacco, and Dillon. And none of them worked out. And when you know Dillon didn't work out, you knew before the season started Dillon didn't work out. You knew in the Panthers game, Shedeur was like that. But you wanted to dismiss it. Oh, that's preseason. Football is football, no matter when and where it's played. Whether it's outside in the backyard, in the middle of the goddamn street, and you run from car trunk to car trunk, it's still football. And Cam proved he's a dog. And instead of talking great about these 2 young men, you want to pit them together and excuse Dillon. Where Dillon's little girlfriend at? Said everybody was behind Dillon. For what? It had nothing to do with football. Everybody was not behind Dillon, but that damn O-line might have been because they caught that virus called the Stefanski. Stefanski tried to corrupt that locker room against Shedeur, but the defense maintained all the time. Shedeur is him. Led by Myles Garrett, who said we need to prepare to win. Code 4. Let me translate it. They didn't prepare to win that game. They celebrated Myles Garrett all week. He could break the record. He could do this. They celebrated Shedeur in imagery and prepared to lose. Kevin Stefanski made sure the O-line was defunct, and Shedeur still got it done. He already back on it. Another injury that we don't know is real or not. Because now the center, Ethan Posick, is out for the rest of the season. So Shedeur got to play these 4 games without an O-line. He don't have to tell you who over there to the right. It don't even matter. He don't even have to tell you who over there to the left. They're going to pull the same bullshit they pulled in the Titans game. Here's the question. Do they want Shedeur to win this game or Caleb to lose it? Which one? Which black quarterback they want to lose? Which one? Because I told you that's how they was picking and choosing last week. And it wasn't about the quarterback. It was about the team agenda and the quarterback itself. And I told you, I said they want Shedeur to lose. What was the reason? I think because Cam already got the number 1 spot. They want to spend the rest of Shedeur's time playing ball to prove he's not a QB1. So if we keep him, we're going to bench him as a QB2. And if we trade him, we're going to trade him less than a QB1. And I was spot on. And so was Vegas. The spread was covered. I've never seen so much crooked and corrupt football in my life. And if all of these quarterbacks were white that were starters, none of this would be happening. None of this would be happening. But because they were forced to take Cam #1 overall, and y'all know how Tennessee tried to get rid of that pick. They have let him get sacked 48 times, and he's still standing. And because the NFL, for some reason, felt the need to invite Shedeur to the draft, even though they knew before the draft they didn't want quarterbacks like Shedeur. They didn't want elite QB1 franchise QBs like Shedeur Sanders now. Because look at the calendar. In 2025, in the first round, all I need is 2 black quarterbacks to get drafted inherent QB1 in the first round from 1 to 32 in the first round. And historically, for the first time ever, despite the ugly history the NFL has with black quarterbacks, the dirty way they have done them since 120 years ago started, black quarterbacks will become the majority. If you thought it was a historic year with 16, what you saw and you didn't know what was going on is that they were making damn sure before the first round ended that they were not 17. And the draft was manipulated because, as everybody can see, Shedeur Sanders was the #1 off the board. But why is it Shedeur had to be manipulated to #2? Because Cleveland is a receptacle, a detention center for black quarterbacks' careers to be destroyed. That's why. That's why. So Cam, who probably should have been #2 to Cleveland, they didn't want to destroy him because they knew he wasn't like that. They wanted to destroy the one that could elevate the game, like Lamar Jackson did when he came in, or like Michael Vick did when he came in, or Donovan McNabb when he came in. Cam ain't that guy. Shedeur is. They wanted to destroy the one that could get 393 yards in one game with no O-line, with his damn coach sabotaging him every time he stepped on the field after he spent all summer trying to buck break him. Yeah, that's the one. And the fact that they only wanted to destroy Shedeur, they didn't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now, 17 to 32. They didn't want to destroy Cam. They buried Milroe. They got Cam sacked 49 times, but they wanted to destroy Shedeur. They knew Kevin Stefanski would be the servant leader to enjoy destroying Shedeur. So that was his presence. Shedeur was served up like a feast to a coach who honestly gives off clan vibes. So he enjoyed every bit of it. But it's backfired. And now everybody wants Stefanski fired. So what has ESPN done with their NFL having 10% ownership stake? They controlling the narrative. I want Shedeur out of Cleveland. Of course you do. Because you want to leave Stefanski there to be a servant leader for whoever coming out in 2026. Dante Moore, if you ain't going first round, go back to college. Lenore Sellers, you should have took that $8 million, but I know your daddy told you you didn't need it. It might be you. Look at what they're doing to Deshaun. He's unmovable. Why? Baker Mayfield could get out. Why Deshaun can't get out? How you pay somebody $230 million, but you don't want to play them? You keep them hurt. And when they get hurt this last time, the head coach takes his headset off like mission accomplished. With excessive sacks. That if this was any other corporation, you let your employee slip and fall 33 times at 7 events, you will be sued for negligence. But they know these guys ain't gonna sue. So they just keep getting them sacked excessively and taking them out their QB1 spots. Tyrod Taylor. So what they gonna do to Shedeur? Because I got 12 million people watching globally to see what you're gonna do now. Because we know he's not the problem. But understand this, the agenda is still the agenda. Nationally, from the draft, locking Shedeur out the first round and pushing him down as far as possible, 17 to 32. That's still the agenda. It's still the goal to make sure that next season don't start or the draft don't end first round. with 17 black starting quarterbacks at the helm of NFL teams. That's still the goal. It was the goal in 2025 on night one of the draft, and it's the goal in 2026. It's going to be the goal in 2027. It's going to be the goal in 2028 and for the foreseeable future. And they know statistically it's realistic. That's why they work so hard to defame Shedeur so they could justify not getting him in New York, and why they work so hard to cut and bait Shedeur and pretend and posture. See, we on to the posturing. Oh, we see the posturing now. We see they gonna smile in your face and touch all on you and cut your damn throat, stab you in the back, or maybe in your chest while you watching with a smile. Because the agenda is still the agenda. So Shedeur got to go out here and play 4 trap games. Caleb Williams, whose job they was trying to get rid of so much that they paid his backup $10 million. His backup. His D3 backup, $10 million. You know he not black. So much so that they were trying to get rid of him. This year, Cam Ward has been sacked over 48 times, maybe 49 now. Last year, Caleb was sacked 72 times. And for those of you that don't know, Caleb tried to circumvent the NFL. And they told him they was going to draft him anyway. So who you think they want to lose this week? Shedeur. The only reason they would want Cam to lose, go run and look at the playoff picture. Go look and see who's in front of the Bears. Go look and see who the Bears played next. And if those games are winnable for the Bears and losable for the team that's in front of them, then they're going to want Caleb to lose to let the team out in front of him go, depending on who the quarterback is. But ultimately, they want Shedeur to lose. Now, here's the question. Since the defense participated 2 weeks in a row, took it easy on Brock Purdy, took it easy on Cam, are they going to get busted and taking it easy on Caleb so Shedeur can lose? So the Browns defense can let the opponent defeat the Browns. That's where we are. We've been here. Since Shedeur took the field, the Ravens defense tried to take down Shedeur while protecting Dillon. For what? He don't even play no more. So you expose yourself, the defensive coordinator of the Ravens, the entire damn defense of the Ravens, protecting Dillon instead of doing everything you can so Lamar Jackson can be set up to win. The Raiders game, they came out winning that, right? Stefanski can't end the season with 2 wins. So now he got 3. 3 last year with Jameis and Deshaun, and 3 this year. So here's the pattern. I don't want to be successful with a black quarterback. What happened to Jameis Winston when he left last year? He got demoted in New York. The Jackson Dart got hurt after they benched Russell Wilson so fast, after he put up 400 yards. See, they don't care about none of that. They don't care about none of that. It's all about the white quarterback holding the most important position on the team. And by any means necessary, we're not going to have 17 or 18 or 19 black starting quarterbacks. What's going on with Jalen Hurts, who was headed back to the Super Bowl, and that whole team is doing an about face? Everything seems manipulated because they already predetermined who they want to come out to go to the Super Bowl, and it's not Lamar Jackson. It's not Jalen Hurts. They will be happy if both of them, Lamar and Jalen, picked up their ball and went home, because that's what they want, to get rid of the athleticism. Did you see the athleticism on display with Cam when he pushed down Greg Delpit? I promise you, it's the funniest play of the game, but it speaks volumes. They holding Cam in a box, letting him do checkdowns. O-line letting him get sacked. See, before the season started, it was said that the Titans got a new O-line to protect their rookie. So what's the problem? What's the problem? They rather run the ball, play it safe with Cam, but let him get sacked 48 times. Maybe if they let him get out the damn pocket, he wouldn't get sacked. And right before when Shedeur first took over, that's what Stefanski was trying to do. That's what Tommy Rees was trying to do. Tommy Rees told you. He said it's not about wins and losses. It's about the process. They hated when Shedeur got out the pocket and connected with Dylan Sampson. Well, damn it, I thought the goal was to win. So fans need to start asking before they start spending them dollars, what's the goal here? Am I just going to be purely entertained like WWE? Or am I going believing that this is competitive? Shedeur Sanders won. The Browns chose to lose to make sure Shedeur Sanders wasn't successful. But it backfired because you could see through 393 yards and 4 touchdowns. He ain't the problem. But instead, yesterday, the media wanted Stefanski fired. Now, ESPN with 10% ownership stake by the NFL wants Shedeur gone to another team. The goal is still the goal. We talked about the goal nationally, 17-32, to avoid at all possible costs, drafting numerous black quarterbacks in the first round so that there will be 17 black starting quarterbacks at the end of 2025, mission accomplished, in 2026. Stay tuned for that. But let's talk about locally in Cleveland, on the ground with the Browns. The Browns have been rebuilding since 2020. It don't take that long to rebuild the team. Because if it take that long, everybody you got in 2020 going to be on the way out. In September, via ESPN, the same Haslam you saw interacting with Coach Prime said in September, while Shedeur was on the ground, we're going to be rebuilding for another 2 to 3 years. That's straight through 2028. Right in time for the shiny new stadium to come. I wonder how long Haslam been knowing he was going to get a stadium. And he hired Stefanski in 2020, and they've been rebuilding for 5 years. And they want to rebuild for 3 more years. Now, they thought the Manning kid was coming out. And they was going to do everything by any hook or crook to get him to come out number 1 overall in Cleveland, get up to that number 1 spot and get the Manning kid, clean house with Andrew Berry, and get Peyton Manning to run the ship. See, they already got rid of Podesta. So that seat is vacant. And it should be Andrew Berry's because he's done good work for the team. Despite Stefanski holding back Andrew Berry's draft selection because they on equal footing. Berry's not the boss like in other organizations. So the goal is to rebuild for 3 more years. How you going to rebuild with a franchise quarterback? You can't. You got to win. So that should tell you when you hear them say this year is a losing year, it was pre-planned to be a losing year. So my question is, when did you decide? When was the strategy? When you pre-draft with Shedeur to win, when did you pivot to let's let this be a losing year? See, here's the problem. You've been rebuilding since 2020. You said in September, you're going to be rebuilding for 3 more years. So chances are you had no real intent to get Shedeur and let him ball out in 2025 if in September you knew you were going to rebuild. Because Shedeur played the damn Panthers in August. It was your franchise QB. No first team reps, no encouragement. Instead, Kevin Stefanski was kicking on him every day, trying to destroy his mental fortitude. Shedeur went out there and bowed out, and y'all wanted to dismiss it. So help me understand something. If you've been rebuilding since 2020, and in September, after Shedeur bowed out and showed you he's the guy, in September, you say, we're going to be rebuilding for 3 years. So you looked at Shedeur after he only got an opportunity when Dylan got hurt. You looked at Shedeur in August, fill up another team stadium, get 2 million people to watch it, which is dollar signs. and ball out, which is the winning recipe, which is what companies go into business for, to be successful. You looked at that success. You looked at your franchise quarterback that you was going to get pre-draft, that you saw convince you and ball out in the Panthers game because he only got in on the stroke of luck or injury. You looked at that success and all of it. You looked at all of it filled up in opponent stadium, balled out. You was already going to get it at number 2 and said, nah, I want to rebuild for 3 more years. And in the draft, you pivoted from him. And you went and got Dylan because you wanted to rebuild for 3 more years. Dylan fits. Shedeur never fitted your 2020 rebuild to 2028 rebuild. So is it possible that you, under false pretenses, pre-draft with Shedeur until every team evaluated and picked their quarterback and cut him like a bad habit, knowing you was never going to get him? And when he didn't make it all the way to undrafted free agency when you was going to get it, when you had already lured him in, because we watch how you posture. You had already lured him in and gotten to know him. And then you was going to make him feel like you was his savior when he go undrafted free agent. Because he was probably going to need an agent to get in, or he was going to need you. So you lured him in. You manipulated him to believe that he meant everything to y'all, that he was going to be your franchise QB, and you went and got Dylan and Flacco, and you already had Pickett. And you traded a black quarterback away, your 5th round QB, to get Pickett, who can't even help the Raiders. All of your decisions point to fraud. Every last pre-draft with Shedeur, every last draft decision with Shedeur, all of it points to posturing and fraud. When I told y'all this was racketeering and what's going on to hold back Shedeur and Berea is criminal, now you see. The reason why they never want to talk about they were going to get Shedeur at number 2 overall, because it doesn't fit with their strategy to keep him behind Dylan. You can't keep your franchise QB, who's uber talented, behind Dylan, who is the undrafted free agent in the scenario. But that's what they was going to get Shedeur from. When the NFL sent out Shedeur Sanders' phone number to 2,000 people, which is everybody that worked there for the most part, which is every team, got an email with Shedeur Sanders' draft phone number with a waiver wire attached. If he went as an undrafted free agent, like Shiloh, he would have had to get an agent to get to a team, or the people he knew that he pre-draft with number 2 was going to feel sorry for him and be his savior. That's the story they already tried to push when he was drafted in the 5th round. I mean, no other team wanted him, so he should be grateful. To hell to the no. Because they don't never talk about how this team lured him in, publicly courted him so other teams could know, go get somebody else. We got Shedeur. And when everybody else was set, they dropped Shedeur. And then you started hearing conversation of Jackson Dart going to sneak into the 1st round. Go back to the first time you heard that conversation on a facility from Chase Daniels and look at the date. And that's going to tell you that's when they decided to let Shedeur free fall. They already knew they was getting Tyler Shaw and not the Saints. The Saints weren't getting Shedeur. And the prank caller had inside information from executives who knew who was going to be drafted, when, and where. That's proprietary information. And the speculation that the draft caller is the boyfriend of the daughter of the New York Giants, the only team to defame Shedeur. And the NFL lied and said it was the Falcons when really it was the New York Giants. So they protected Daboll. So they couldn't protect him no more. They still protecting the GM. They protected Stefanski. Who is they? the owners that took Shedeur off the board. The agenda is still the agenda. And add to the top, now we in damage control. Now we have to get the heat off Stefanski so we can keep him. Yeah. Why they don't want to let him go? That ball got fired. Stefanski ain't won nothing. He threw this game so they could exit the playoffs. Haslam said, during this season, Stefanski has done good work for us. Stefanski has won 6 games. What the hell is he talking about? What work has he done other than try to destroy Shadur? Is that the work? What work has he done other than waste a 3rd-round draft pick? What work has he done other than waste an entire damn season? Seems like he had approval. Because they thought holding Shadur back to the end of the season in the dead of winter, that there's no way with just a few games, 4 games or 6 games or whatever, even though they was rigged. So you take rigged games, the dead of winter, and a tough schedule coming. There's no way Shadur could be successful and prove on the back half of the season with just a little bit amount of time left. There's no way he could prove to be franchise. But guess what? Just like he proved in that Panthers game with no first team reps that he was franchise. He proved it again. But see, they didn't care in August. They want to keep rebuilding. You think they changed their mind? Is the agenda in Cleveland still the agenda? Are we going to abandon a losing culture for 3 more years and go with Shedeur as our franchise? Tell me where the Manning kid fit in at, and there's your answer. Because the Manning kid is the reason that they got Shedeur and put him on a shelf. The Manning kid coming out, they thought this year, is the reason they got Dylan, an undrafted free agent, who they knew couldn't win. Because by the time the Manning kid come out of school, which was supposed to be in 2026, Dylan's so bad, you'll be thirsty for good play. You'll think the Manning kid is Shedeur. Yep. Fans think season to season. They strategize a few years ahead. Most corporations do. So now you know why they got Dylan. Now you know why they got Flacco. Now you know why they got Pickett. They put in a Band-Aid solution to wait on the Manning kid. Now you know why they held Shedeur back. We don't want you. We don't value you. We want the Manning kid. The Manning kid they thought was coming out. Now he not. Oh, shit. What am I do? Now I got to wait a whole nother year to get the Manning kid. So now, what do I do with 2026? I don't want to let Stefanski go. And ain't no way I can keep Shedeur because 12 million people going to stand all over us. And we gonna expose ourselves. So we're going to have to trade Shedeur. Hence, Stephen A. Stefanski is terrible. He's not a good coach. I want Shedeur traded. Why the hell would you want Stefanski fired? Skip Bayless did the same thing initially, but now has since changed his tune. And Skip Bayless has pointed out that he's friends with Haslam. And he said Shedeur should ask for a trade. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the fact that Deshaun is over there is a reminder of why Shedeur should never ask for a trade as a black quarterback. Then I want you to think about Terrell Pryor. No. That is career suicide for a black quarterback. Retaliation. Where the hell is Tony Brown? Retaliated against. No. And Shedeur is not the problem. He shouldn't have to move. Stefanski isn't worthy of being a coach in this league. He's one of the lowest paid coaches in this league because according to Haslam, Stefanski does good work for us, but has only won 6 games in the last 2 years, but managed to devalue Jameis Winston before he went to New York, managed to injure Deshaun Watson and the insurance company paid his $46 million, managed to hold back Shedeur, wasting whole season, fix the game, fix the damn game so they could exit the playoffs. So that's the work he has done. And now, after yesterday, Everybody wanted Stefanski fired. ESPN wants to control the narrative since they have NFL has 10% ownership stake in them to say, Shedeur, I want Shedeur traded to another team because Stefanski is terrible. That don't even make sense. Everybody know the fans are clamoring. All you got to do is use these 2026 picks to get O linemen and wide receivers, and we can win. But the goal to rebuild for 3 more years is still the damn goal. So that's why you hear the narrative. Stefanski's trash. Shidurian deserves better. Send him to another team. They playing in your goddamn face. So now they want the Browns fans to sit and lose for 3 more years. Y'all better leave that damn stadium empty and do like I say, reallocate. Because if you don't see these people straighten up and fly right and stop sabotaging Shedeur in these last 4 games, that's your cue on what the hell to do with your money next year. It means that the agenda is still the agenda to rebuild for the next 3 years. So you're just going to be over there hoping and wishing and praying while Shedeur playing for somebody else. Because 12 million people going to make sure he don't get cheated over there. So they'd rather lose than win with black excellence. Yeah. So I could get the Manny kid. Because we got Dylan to let him look so bad that you're going to believe the Manny kid is Shedeur. So y'all going to be happy with that. So just wait. If that shit don't work out. I said Shedeur is going to transcend this. And with 12 million people, he will transcend this. The NFL now has King Griffey Jr. being a celebrity photographer. A lot of black celebrity photographers. So we won't think they're what? They don't care what y'all think. They care what we think. A lot of posturing. A lot of posturing. So the agenda and the 2026 draft is still the agenda, 17 to 32. The agenda in Cleveland to rebuild for the next 3 years is still the damn agenda. When you hear ESPN pushing the narrative for Shedeur to be moved and Stefanski to stay. Browns fans, y'all better make it do what it do. All right. We going wherever Shedeur go. Hence the term Shidurian. We going wherever Shedeur go. Understand that. And they know that. And they know that. It said, hey, Clara, it said, yes. It said, goodbye and good riddance. Is it going to happen? And it is going to happen. And it will be great when it's official. It said, they waste going, or they going to pay for it all. They wasted time and they going to pay for it all. Everyone in the NFL, and don't forget Whitlock. Yeah, I don't know him like that, but whatever. I mean, if you know what it is, you know what it is, right? And I just told you what it is. So now you have been informed. I broke it down for you. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. So shout out to Clara for that. Thank you for the super chat, and thank you. Clara rejoined as a member. Welcome, Clara. Welcome back. Thank you so much. So here's the thing, right? You know what it is. You know what it is. You know the agenda for both the national level. You know the agenda for Cleveland. Let's see if they pivot. They got 4 games to pivot, straighten up, fly right, and do right by their fans and try to win. It's already been proven Shedeur belongs in his league. It's already been proven Shedeur is better, light years better than Dylan. So Dylan should never hit the field again. But Stefanski has been left there to do more good work. So let's see if Haslam is willing to roll the dice called Stefanski to sabotage Shedeur through these last 4 games to try to prove or disprove what has already been proven, that Shedeur is franchise. Now, if they want to build for 3 more years and get the Manny kid in 2027, you trying to destroy Shedeur, it's just cruelty. And cruelty is the point, and that's what's going to get you taken down. Because racism is expensive. And 17 of 32 is nothing but racism. So let's take a look at Shiloh clip that I put together. He was interviewing Shedeur. One thing I love about the Sanders people, the Sanders men, you know, because we see them more often than the young women. You ain't gonna take them down. People thought, I remember when Shiloh went to the combine. And he didn't get a combine invite, but he came to Colorado. He invested his resources. You know, he had NIL deals. He invested his resources to bring the people that do the timing for the combine to come help train him, right? And Shiloh got faster. He got better. And he got a tryout with Tampa. But I knew the fact that he had to hire an agent and go to Tampa, you could hear weeks before Shiloh got lured in, baited in, you could hear Shiloh gonna get cut. It didn't matter what Shiloh did. They wanted to cut him. You heard me say the Browns want the Manning kid. This is why they don't want Shiloh, why they don't want Shedeur balling out in the NFL, because they want the Manning football legacy to be the talk of the NFL. They don't want it to be Cam versus Shedeur, with Cam balling out and Shedeur balling out, and it's a battle to the end, and Shedeur wins. No. All they've been talking about is Shedeur should have been the first round pick, but you don't hear fire Stefanski. You don't hear them holding anybody accountable for taking Shedeur off the draft board. These are narratives to control the conversation away from the truth. That Stefanski should have already been fired, which is why I keep asking, has Stefanski been fired yet? It should be perplexing to everyone watching this. How the hell he keep his job? And people ask the question before we even got past the summer. Coaches in the NFL, former coaches in the NFL, we don't know how he kept his job this long. Well, that's being put on full display for you. Haslam and some other people you can't see. Because the NFL should be clamoring all over Haslam because of what's taking place, the fraud that you can see clearly, the fixing, the rigging of the games. They're not tanking. They have 2 first-round picks. They have the number 5 pick. The Manning kid not coming out next year. I don't need to draft first. Well, who am I going to get first? Well, I'm going to get a black wide receiver? No. What, I'm going to get a white tight end or a white O-line? Just like they got Mason Graham first. And I don't even know if he got his first sack yet. The agenda is still the agenda. So let's take a look at this fun time. Shiloh has moved over to,
Come on, bro.
you know, I'm happy for him. I would feel sorry for him. People said he needed to pick up a camera. He went and trained hard. He did his best. He did all he could do, and they still didn't want him, right? So then it was Shedeur's turn. Shedeur did his best. They left him to languish. He had to self-develop. Now they want to say he's grown. People are putting out Shedeur's viral videos or his highlights from Jackson State and Colorado to prove he's exactly the same quarterback. Kevin Stefanski made it a point to ignore Shedeur, to not help Shedeur. Shedeur had to take the initiative to go to Stefanski to seek help. And they want to say Stefanski did nothing but try to destroy Shedeur, abuse Shedeur, bully Shedeur, and enjoy it in the process because he doesn't think Shedeur is worthy to be a quarterback in the NFL, and definitely not the most important position on the team. Barry repeated that so many times. I swear he was sending a message. Stefanski did nothing to help Shedeur. He did not give Shedeur an opportunity because Shedeur only had opportunities when Dylan got injured. So even if the injury was fake, and somebody needs to look into all these excessive injuries over here in Cleveland that take black quarterbacks out of their positions. So Stefanski didn't help Shedeur. He's not helping Shedeur now. He's not going to help Shedeur because he still believes Shedeur isn't worthy to be the franchise, the QB1, a quarterback because he's black. Stefanski is still pushing the stereotypes against black quarterbacks. Stefanski is still working as if the stereotype is a reality against black quarterbacks, that they can't get it done, that they're not worthy of the position. Stefanski is being racist, and it's documented. And Haslam is allowing it, and that's documented too. They would rather posture their way through this than stop being racist, fire Stefanski, and put a healthy, non-toxic culture in place and build around Shedeur. So let's take a look at the bright side. Shedeur being interviewed by Shilo. Shilo just moved to Miami. Later on, we'll take a look at some of the other parts of it, but this was hilarious. Apparently, it was put out there that Shedeur wears a thong when he plays. So you know how Shilo is. He put that out there. He said he got 10 calls about it, but he had to clean it up. So he interviewed and FaceTime Shedeur Sanders. So let's take a listen. This is hilarious.
Come on, bro.
Y'all, let me let y'all see it first. Okay, they're talking about right here. They're talking about this piece of back tape. So Shedeur has on tape because he got a back injury. So he get his back tape. So apparently Shiloh, with his comedic self, decided to ask out loud if his brother wears a thong while he plays. So now you have been informed. Let's take a listen.
Come on, bro.
What's going on with you, bro?
You forgot I had a little back injury, right? So I get my back tape. But that is crazy that it did look like that. That's funny, though.
I know you wasn't wearing no thong, bro. You wouldn't do nothing like that, right?
Nah, brother. You know, that was called back tape, bro.
Yeah, but you remember we was in Paris and you had that little bag? The one that was like this?
Yeah, that's called fashion.
Do y'all remember when Shiloh went in on Shedeur when they did the Louis Vuitton fashion show, Fashion Week in Paris? Shedeur had that bag. Oh my God, Shiloh went in on him. I can't believe he went back to that. I totally forgot about it, but of course, big brothers.
Yeah, that's called fashion. You talking about the same one 2 Chainz had?
Yeah, so I don't know, like, what you're doing next. I don't know if the thongs is the next big thing, bro, you know? Nah, fam, I know you're not gonna do nothing like that, bro. You should do it, bro. You the star quarterback for the Browns, man.
That's back tape, bro.
It's all right, fam. You know what? I'm gonna let everybody know, bro. It's not nothing like that, bro. It's just tape.
It was crazy because you know I be wearing like a scuba suit like under because it be cold. So then I was like, hey, I said, because I know the shirt was short. So I'm like, hey, this will mess up my drip a little bit, huh? Then he was like, nah, Phil, you good, bro, you don't need it. After the game, they talking about, man, I got on the thong.
How do you feel playing a good game? I know you guys lost and stuff, but how do you feel playing a good game and then everything just gets shadowed by your thong?
It's like, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
It proves that Shiloh is truly the bigger brother. You know how big brothers, you know, the older sibling picks on the younger sibling. I mean, I don't think there's that much of an age difference in him. But one thing about Shiloh, he's a whole comedian. You know, I think he can try his hand at it. I think he's more of a prankster than a comedian. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Is Shiloh more of a comedian or a prankster?
Like that's obvious back tape. It's tape, bro.
Yeah. Hey, bro, I knew it was tape, bro.
Don't forget when I missed the Patriots game. Like y'all remember that?
Nah, we remember, bro. We just trying to make sure everything good with you, you know?
Yeah, fam, everything good.
I'll tell everybody though, bro. I'm gonna have this out soon. I got you, bro.
Yes, bro. That's not no thong, bro. That's weird.
All right, bro. I'm gonna spread the news. Don't worry.
All right, bro.
All right, so that's it. So Shiloh, you know, making fun of Shedeur, his back tape. It's funny, I didn't even notice that. And y'all, that was a clip. That was another viral moment. So shout out to Shiloh. We'll be back with him tonight to talk. I want to show y'all his crib. It's nice, right? So I wouldn't feel sorry for Shiloh. What I would do is go watch that video, hit the like button over there at Shiloh Sanders page, and make sure you subscribe. Let's get this brother to at least 500,000 subs by the time we get to the end of the year, which is less than 30 days. Shiloh has really good content. And we're going to talk. I have a clip of a video. We'll talk about it tonight where he's talking. I was happy to hear him say that. You know, they were asking him what else is maybe movie roles of this. He said, I really like the content space. But of course, he also talks about how he stays ready. Shilo, this is his lane. I said it before he even did NASCAR, after he did NASCAR. This content creation is Shiloh's lane. His personality was built for this, right? It was built for this. And you know, with him being the hardest hitting safety in college football and the violence in the game, you never know. God could be trying to save Shiloh from CTE. So go enjoy that content lane, my brother. You are thriving. Y'all go watch the video and make sure y'all subscribe to his channel and hit the like button. All right, so I'm gonna get in these comments and see what y'all are saying. I'm gonna turn some music on. We're gonna chill out for a little bit, and we're gonna have these conversations. One, like I told y'all, the conversation that's happening, that Shedeur is better than Jackson Dart. I'm probably gonna need a whole podcast about that one. And I didn't say it because, you know, if you hating on Shedeur Sanders fans, I ain't posting you like that. But I'm gonna tell you what was said, right? A Shedeur Sanders fan or Shidurian posted Shedeur Sanders greater than Jackson Dart. That's all they said. That's it. And then the Giants fan comes back and they all confirm the Giants fan. They come back and say, this is why we hate y'all. This is why we hate y'all. Oh, hold on. This is why we hate y'all. And I didn't post the Shedeur Sanders better than Jackson Dart. I do more commentary. I don't know, sometimes. But I did hop on in. And they said, see, this is why we hate y'all. At first I said, that ain't why you hate us. But I said, look, I'm gonna go a different route. I said, y'all hate us because you knew this day would come. And you knew we were showing up with receipts. And did. How do you hate the facts? They knew this day was coming, bro. They knew this day was coming. In the draft, they were so happy Jackson Dart went in front of Shedeur. They tried to push that bald-faced lie that Jackson Dart was better than Shedeur. When the whistle blows, that's when you go find out who better. In one weekend, we found out it is confirmed 393 yards. 4 touchdowns. Jackson Dart through 10 games have not even put up 300 yards. And he got Fort Knox over there. Shedeur put up 393 yards with no O-line, a head coach sabotaging him. And after he scored 2 touchdowns, them receivers couldn't catch them damn footballs. Yeah, we see y'all. We see y'all. We see you. We see you. If you had clout, it would be some different receivers on that damn field, I'm sure. One thing about Shedeur, he don't give the receivers time to get it. But then he's tenacious. He has the tenacity to understand when to move on. And that's what makes him greatness. I don't let my personal feelings get in the way. I know we cool, but you got to catch this goddamn ball. And we've heard him say that before. You know, everybody wanted to discount Shedeur because of 17 to 32 in the draft, and the media worked hard to devalue his draft stock, and they were successful. But see, now, so much time has passed, so much has been said, and in one game, Shedeur is better than Cam, should have been #1 overall, and better than Jackson Dart, Tyler Shaw, and everybody else that was drafted ahead of him. And he never should have been taken off the draft board by 32 NFL owners, nowhere to hide. All you could do at this point is start making it right. And don't forget, I got a chapter waiting on you called Run Me My Money. Because if you felt like he was your franchise quarterback and you was going to pay him $46 million, and he only gets into the game on injury, something that's excessive over there in Cleveland, and a lot of people are beginning to speculate it's used to restrict player movement, which is collusion and fraud, racketeering. That's the only way Shedeur get an opportunity. So Shedeur is in the Ravens game on the back half after we watched the Ravens put Dylan in a blanket and give him a bottle and put him to bed. And they come at Shedeur full steam. And his house get robbed at the same time. No other time. And Bucky wasn't in town that week. How many people knew Bucky wasn't going to be here this week? He was here a week before, starting with the Dolphins game. And he came right back after the robbery, and they stepped him back up to on the field. When he came back, they let him do pre and post. That's it. And then they let him come back full. And he gone when they robbed. Who knew he would be not available? There's your answer. How convenient. Because when you looked at the video that they put out that people swear that's how Shedeur got robbed, no, it ain't. Because one thing about these videos, YouTube gonna show you the most watched parts. See, these analytics don't play. The most watched parts, you heard me say it before, was Bucky's face, Florida's face. The least watched parts, the parts they really weren't interested in, they didn't care about the contents of the closet that was shown. They didn't care about the clothes that he was looking at. They left with what they could carry in the dark because the robbery wasn't about what Shedeur had. It was what they were sent there to get, which is why they cleaned out the contents of his nightstands, because they was looking for something. Evidence or something to use to extort when he asked for a trade, because they know they're going to keep holding him back. And that's why you hear people pushing Shedeur to ask for a trade. Shedeur, every time you see Deshaun, I want you to know, you being reminded, don't take that route. God got you. And that's clear. And that's clear. So everything has backfired on these fools. Everything. Every damn thing. They thought he needed time. They thought he needed development. Nope. He just needed an opportunity to throw the ball. And you see, they didn't even want to give him that. All right. So let's see what y'all saying. All right. How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? Labora, hey, how you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for hanging out with the podcast. Hey, Tina, welcome back, fam. Hey, Amber, good evening. I sent you the link. Shedeur is nominated for Rookie of the Week. Yeah. Okay, we got something to celebrate tonight. All right. So Shedeur is nominated for Rookie of the Week. Thank you, Amber. Thank you. Excuse me. I don't know why when I get on here, I got to sneeze. Hey, everybody. MSD, how you doing? Please vote, everyone. Let's get him this deserving award. Oh, we can vote on it? Okay. Okay. All right. So we'll vote on it. Amber, that is great news. I've been voting every day for 12. Okay, perfect, perfect. Are we talking about Rookie of the Week to vote, or are we talking about Pro Bowl? Let me know. Which one are we talking about to vote? Vote for the Pro Bowl for sure. But if he nominated for Rookie of the Week, do we get to vote for that? Oh, Amber said yes. Vote for the Pro Bowl as well. I think Harold Fanning Jr. won the Rookie of the Week. Oh, they already decided. So they gave Harold Fanning Jr. Rookie of the Week over Shedeur. That's crazy. It's not a surprise, though. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. It's not a surprise. I saw that they had Tyler Shaw as Rookie QB of the Week as well. What? See, the agenda is still the agenda. Now, see what I mean by the agenda is still the agenda? Tyler Shaw threw for 144 yards. Am I right? And I told y'all they was coming for Tampa Bay. Yep. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Facts, facts, facts. Yes, facts. It said those are just nominations. No one has won yet. Okay, so we're going to have to see. What are y'all calling it? Rookie of the Week? Week 14? Week 14, Rookie of the Week. It said for NFL Week 14, current season, Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders and tight end Harold Fanning Jr. were nominated for Pepsi Rookie of the Week after huge performance, with Sanders throwing for 364 yards and 3 touchdowns, plus a rushing TD, while running back Kevin Winston from the Titans and safety Nick Imanwori for the Seahawks also had standout games, though official winners are usually announced midweek. For the previous 23 season, Ivan Pace Jr., Vikings linebacker, won. So they said it hasn't been announced. Let me share this with y'all so y'all can see. Tyler Shaw seems to be on there. They didn't mention him, but he is on there. Let's see if I could share this. Yesterday, this is how I got in trouble. I was sharing my screen and something happened and it got stuck. All right. But thank y'all for hanging in there with me. All right. Let's see. Okay. So this is it, guys. This is the Rookie of the Week nomination that people are talking about. 250 people hit the like button, please. It said Shedeur Sanders, QB the Browns, Harold Fanning Jr., tight end, Kevin Winston Jr., linebacker for the Titans, 5 tackles, 2 TFLs, and 2 passes defended. Nick Imanwori, Seahawks, recorded his first NFL interception against the Falcons. Okay. Okay. And Tyler Shaw, QB Saints, scored 2 rushing touchdowns in a win over Tampa Bay. So, okay. So they let Tyler Shaw beat Tampa Bay. That's it. Tampa Bay is in the playoffs. They let the Saints, Tyler Shaw, with 144 yards, beat Tampa Bay. So they're going to try to give it to Tyler Shaw. Because if Tyler Shaw wasn't in this conversation, it should be Shedeur. But the Browns and everybody else would cheat Shedeur, and probably Harold Fanning Jr. too. So, because he keep catching passes. So, good luck to these guys. One thing about it, Shedeur been cheated so many times. In college, he was cheated out of the Heisman. They parked Dylan in front of him to keep him off the stage. They parked Dylan in front of Shedeur in Cleveland. Not a coincidence, people. Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence. So, that's nice, but we can't buy into that. Unfortunately, we can't buy into those types of things because they tend to cheat. So, whatever. But thank y'all for bringing it to the awareness. It's nice for Shedeur to be nominated. Nice for Harold Fanning Jr. to be nominated, but they just gonna get cheated. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. It said, I mean, yeah, they just gonna cheat. That's all. Hey, Kimberly, thank you for the Cash App. Thank you. I never got a chance to thank you. I'm glad you over here. Thank you so much for the Merry Christmas Cash App. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Freeman, for holding it down as well for the Cash Apps. I don't even know if he's in here, but just thank you whenever you do see it. It said, when God is for you, who can be against you? Shedeur was the QB and the QB in that game. Oh, and he had to block for himself. Yeah. And that play, I want to take that play that Cam Ward was pushing Greg Delpit off of him, which is hilariously funny. And then I want to take the play with Shedeur running and they tearing his jersey. It shows these guys are dogs. Dogs. Absolute dogs. Both of them. And both of their teams doing them dirty. Both of their teams. Shedeur and Cam, the 1 and the 2, Shedeur the 1, Cam the 2, should be out here thriving in their careers. But because they had to draft Cam, they want to allow him to be sacked excessively by trying to keep him in the pocket or going with a heavy run game. That's how they denying him, even though they paying him $48 million. Trying to say he's not good so they can devalue him and take him down from the QB1 spot. If that don't work, this is where injuries tend to come in at. Keep your eyes peeled back, including Shedeur. They got 4 more opportunities. Yeah, understand. Look at CJ Stroud. Look at Jada Daniels. Those two will tell the story. This is what happens to black quarterbacks. If you don't believe me, I want you to think about what happened to Anthony Richardson when his O-line fell on his pinky. And now that Daniel Jones is out for the season, they went and got 44-year-old somebody off his couch. Anthony Richardson is right there. Was the QB1, and they refused to put him back. So you're going to go get a 44-year-old player who's white off his couch instead of Anthony Richardson, who was QB1 when it started. That should tell you that they probably, the whole time Anthony Richardson been over there, been tampering with his career. Because if they tampering with Shadour's, they tampering with Lamar's, tampering with Jalen Hurts, tampering with Jada Daniels, tampering with CJ Stroud, tampering with Cam Ward, tampering with Caleb Williams. Why the hell wouldn't they be tampering with Anthony Richardson Jr.? Wake up, people. This is league-wide. The national agenda. 17 to 32. Protecting whiteness at the QB1 starting position who you see playing on TV every week. And preventing blackness from excelling naturally. So there's not 17, 18, 19, 20 black starting quarterbacks every week on TV. It said they got Dylan Gabriel to lose games. Yep, that's facts. It said that's why Shedeur Sanders had to sit or get sabotaged because he's not a loser, he's the winner. Right. That's why they didn't want him on the field. Right. And that proves my point, right? You had to take Cam and look at what you're doing to him, having him sacked excessively, keeping him in the pocket to the point he got to push off a defender because you ain't letting him run out the pocket. Shedeur Sanders the same way. Tommy Reese with that Fugazi. It's not about winning and losing. So they plan to lose. That's why it's not about winning and losing. And Shedeur don't fit a losing strategy. So this is correct. This is absolutely correct. They got Dylan Gabriel to lose games. That's facts. That's facts. Thank you for joining us. We were talking about that when the podcast started. The whole strategy overall seems premeditated to take Shedeur off the board, send him somewhere to draft and destroy. It said, this is what happens when preparation meets opportunity and opportunity meets preparation, right? And when you say stay ready, 12 stay ready. 12 stay ready. And they thought because they didn't develop him that he wouldn't get it done. They thought because they held him back, he would have a whole season to prove who he is. This kid been in their presence since May, and they still don't know who he is because they plotting this week too. Understand that. If Kevin Stefanski start with that bull crap, run, pass, run, predictable pass play calling, it's on. It's up from the beginning. And let's see if they flip a switch this time. When it looked like a switch, it's a switch. And the running back, Harold Fanning, Quinshon Junkins, he should be on there too. It said, Nola, they forgot you keep receipts. I know that's right, man, because I have a t-shirt that says, I keep receipts. I'm going to wear it tonight. This why they mad, bro. They knew we was coming. And they want to talk, they want to run all the way to Tennessee to talk about Shadur is better than Cam. I said, you ain't got to run to Tennessee. I'm like, you could be right there in Cleveland. Shadur is better than Dylan. You didn't even need Flacco. You were supposed to draft Shadur like you were supposed to draft Shadur, but you was posturing and you was committing fraud at the same time. And all of it is documented. People are pulling out receipts from the draft. I told you this yesterday. They stuck. Nowhere to hide. Nowhere. And they crazy enough to keep trying to set this kid up. Pay attention. Pay attention. Even Shannon Sharp said, I hate to say, oh, Shadur is the starter for the rest of the season, because when you look at that schedule, you see why he the starter. All they want to do is hurt Shadur and prop up Dylan so they can lose. That's it. They get this kid hurt, bro. I promise you. It's going to be crazy out here. It's going to be crazy. But he's smart. He's intelligent. He's intelligent. They are the dumbasses. Understand that. Understand that. Shadur is not the one who's not smart. I'm like, they want to keep living plantation fantasies and running with all of these stereotypes about the black quarterback. That's exactly why there are 17 black starting quarterbacks in this league. They just keep trying to take their jobs away. That's why they won't let Anthony Richardson get back out there. So now, one of the narratives they trying to run with, Shadur is not perfect. Who the hell said he to be perfect, fool? You don't expect Tyler Shaw. They want to celebrate mediocrity. That game, I didn't watch Tampa Bay versus the Saints, but I'm willing to bet you every damn dollar that game was fixed. That game was fixed. They knew Shedeur was going to get out there and play. They knew they had to let him play. So I need somebody to shake something so we don't just talk about him. In fact, on one broadcast, I didn't even watch it. It was supposed to be about Shedeur Sanders and Tyler Shaw balling out. I just knew they was going to start with Shedeur. They said, yeah, Shedeur Sanders and Tyler Shaw balled out. Let's talk about Tyler Shaw. I said, we want to talk about 144-year-olds. All right. Look at that game, bro. Just like they cheated and rigged the Titans game, but they tearing down Cam persistently as if, he wasn't the quarterback on that team. Shiloh. So yeah, that's just what it is, guys. These people just gonna continue to downplay Shedeur. We can't get excited about no awards. It's great, thank God, that he's recognized, but we can't buy in. We don't buy into that. But what we do is keep receipts, and that's why they mad, because we pulling out them receipts on her. That's why they mad. We pulling out them receipts. Jackson Dart had Russ out there, baby. Yeah, sure did. And what Jackson Dart say? I appreciate Russ. Right? They want to act like Jackson Dart better. And the reason they act like Jackson Dart is better because they know they had no business drafting Jackson Dart and shunning Shedeur. They knew Shedeur was that guy. That's why they held him back all the way. But see, they didn't know him all the way because they thought, how many times have you heard them say the season is over? How many times did you hear them say Shedeur got the Browns in the hunt for the playoffs? This is the win-loss scenario for the 49ers. This is the win-loss scenario for the elimination game versus the Titans. The season's over because they don't want to give Shedeur his shine. Shedeur don't need y'all validation. He got us. And we outnumber y'all. So much so that y'all can't stop talking about us. So to hell with y'all. Shedeur is franchised. It says, since you sound just as angry as you did since all of this mistreatment began, I'm with you. Yeah, bro, they trash, bro. They trash. Because here's the thing. it proves what's going on. Their little weird strategy to build from 2020 to 2028. When they came for Shedeur, even though they've never drafted a black quarterback in the first round, it seems like it needs to be investigated. It seems like it was under false pretenses because you went from Shedeur to plotting to lose. And you said in September with Shedeur on the ground, yeah, we're going to keep rebuilding for 3 years. You're going to have 3 more losing years. So you're going to get the Manning kid whenever he come out and give him 2 to 3 years to get it together. That's what you're going to do. And Dylan was the setup for the Manning kid because he's so bad that the Manning kid is decent, but he ain't Shedeur. So now the Browns want to shun Shedeur, and ESPN is leading the narrative. Don't forget 10% ownership by the NFL, which is a huge conflict of interest. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett, a bid to run for Senate. Didn't I say I want her to answer the question? Here we are. We on our way. Did I know she was going to run for Senate so she could ask the questions? But she going to ask the question. Let's see what happens. Do I want them to stop with these last 4 games? Absolutely. Do I have any faith in them? Absolutely not. Because the agenda is still the agenda. The agenda is still the agenda. Shadeur's our QB1, like we said in the beginning. Facts. It said, what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. Oh, I know that's right. Now that's how you know that's the grandma right there. That grandmama in the house in the kitchen talking to cooking that stew on a Sunday in New Orleans. That stew, yep, baby. Whatever don't come out in the wash, gonna come out in the rinse. Don't even worry about it, baby. Don't even worry about it. Every Sunday like clockwork. That's why we like we are. That's why we were resilient people, because the people that were held back before us taught us, and it's incumbent upon us to teach these folks coming behind us, and whoever else want to learn something. Whoever else want to learn something, you can roll with us. That's facts, bro. That's facts. It says Stefanski is straight trash, right? He wasn't even hired to be a coach. When Haslam said he's done good work for us, I'm like, this fool at the time won. I don't even think he had made it to 3 games. Then again, he only got 6, so who cares, right? He not protecting Stefanski for his on-the-field work. He protected him for the sabotage, for trying to whiten up the place. That's what it is. That's what it is. And they just walking all over Andrew Berry. He went to Harvard. He got to do better than that. It said the agenda is still the agenda. That's it. That's the motto. The agenda is still the agenda. That's the damn motto. That's going to be the motto on a national level. That's why I ain't watching the draft. Because what come out in the wash going to come out in the rinse. I ain't worried about it. I'm not watching that because that shit going to be rigged. You understand that? Yeah, they was already trying to rig college football. I stopped watching that. I'm like, let me just go on over here to watch my HBCUs because they not, it's racism-free football. That's what I call it. HBCU football is racism-free. They just out here playing, bro. When you watch Prairie View versus Jackson State, they was really just out here playing. And unfortunately, Coach T.C. Taylor got our coach. And I plan to be at the celebration because Coach Tremaine Jackson, who's the head coach at Prairie View, he a dog. He bold with it. He aggressive with the play. He not out here check down and all this, that, and they're trying to win. And he know he going up against Chennis Berry, who also wants to win. Both teams want to win. And Cam Peters, is coached by Select QB. I saw his interview again. I heard y'all. Somebody said his father is a head coach at Prairie View. Correct. I thought y'all was saying his father was Tremaine Jackson, the head coach. But y'all were saying his father is a coach at Prairie View. So one of his clients, Cam Peters, he a dog. He a senior, he a dog. And South Carolina State got a dog of a quarterback over there too. This gonna be a game. This the game you want to watch. If you can get to Atlanta, and 80% of the population lives 2 hours from Atlanta, you're gonna want to be at the Celebration Bowl. So I'm gonna try to be there. I'm gonna try to post up somewhere, go live. Maybe next year. Maybe next year is the year I start requesting media access. I've never even anticipated being at this point, so I've never truly looked into it. But I think I'm going to put that on my bingo card for next season to start in January, for whatever events take place, to start requesting media access. Y'all might see me pop out at some soccer games. Remember, I already went to a soccer game. I was trying to find the footage. I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I knew number 29 was a dog. And they let him come out late. And I was like, why y'all let him play late? So I don't know what the hell going on in soccer. But number 29 for the United for Atlanta is a dog. And then the World Cup is coming up. So what she said, sports, we're going to take this thing to the next. I wanted to go to Gunner's 5K run. I think he did a 5K run last weekend. But it was like 8 or 9 in the morning and it's cold here. So we're going to have to catch him in the spring next year or in the summer. And so I got some stuff, you know, we're going to be growing and expanding. And I already told y'all, I think lacrosse is the new way to go. So I'm trying to go find some little lacrosse games running around here. I didn't know they have leagues like that. So I'm going to be looking into that. Women's soccer, you know, women's sports is hot, track and field, whatever. It's up. I love sports. It's up. So we're going to be growing. So thank y'all and hope y'all keep growing with us. So shout out to y'all for letting me know that Select QB's father is the one of the coaches at Prairie View. Shedeur has shown he is him. If the Browns wasn't messing with him, he would have won Rookie of the Year, which of course you didn't want them. They didn't want him to win with ease and would have gotten him into the playoffs, right? So with Shedeur on the ground, they want to keep rebuilding through September. Let's see if they change their mind. With Shedeur, who they knew was going to come in and ball out on the ground, they chose to lose. They made conscious decisions and personnel and play calling to lose. And even when Shedeur got in and won that game that he won, he put them in the playoff hunt and they downplayed it. Didn't even talk about it. Robbed their fans of a playoff journey. I don't care if it would have ended next week. You didn't celebrate it because it was Shedeur. Because why? You drafted Jackson Dart in front of Shedeur. You parked Dylan in front of Shedeur. That's why you're over here talking about Cam. Shedeur is better than Cam. Shedeur better than Dylan. And Stefanski need to pay the price. But now ESPN want to hijack the narrative and talk about Shedeur should move on because Stefanski's trash. Well, then fire Stefanski. It's so rigged and crooked and corrupt. That's sad. They'd rather out themselves. They'd rather expose themselves than win with black excellence and have 17 black starting quarterbacks. You know what you would think? You would think with as hard as they trying to prevent there from being 17 black starting quarterbacks in the season, this season and next season, and for the foreseeable future. I mean, you would think when they hit 17 that everybody just gonna sell their team because that's how adamant they are and that's how persistent and determined they are to keep it from happening by any means necessary, including pain. And it's not a new phenomenon because Tyrod Taylor, I had to stop profiling black quarterbacks because it was starting to make me feel like a social worker looking at trauma every day. It was hard. I said, okay, I can't do this no more. I'm gonna have to take a break. So maybe in the off season I go back to it because y'all gave me a list of quarterbacks to get through. And if you're new to the channel, a lot of content out here for you. If you're a member, you got a lot of content to binge watch as a member. But you know, just as a supporter, all of the videos that I have done on the black quarterbacks, Vince Young, Tyrod Taylor, y'all need to go watch them. Y'all want to go watch them, especially the one on Vince Young. The revolution is now televised. Facts. Absolute facts. It said this is not just Kevin. Haslam is behind this. It said the Browns organization is corrupt and dysfunctional. Fire Kevin and Haslam need to sell the team. That's really what needs to happen. That's really it. Somebody said if the Browns fire Stefanski, what other change needs to happen? I said Haslam needs to be forced to sell the team because he is the reason the culture is toxic. They were toxic before they hired Stefanski. Hugh Jackson, Deshaun Kaiser. That was what, 17, 18, 19? They hired Stefanski in 2020 and be rebuilding and destroying black quarterbacks ever since. Baker Mayfield got out. And they want to keep rebuilding for 3 more years. So I don't know who the hell career they finna ruin next year until that Manning kid come out. But it better not be Shedeur Sanders because we ain't going for that. Oh no, we ain't going for that. They better find something else to do. They better find something else to do, bro. I'm like, because if you think we loud now, we ain't going for that, partner. It said Haslam is the perfect owner to allow his team to be a receptacle. He gives off Yep, he does. He does. He does. He does. He does. It said Haslam with that fake grin with CP. We talked about that. Did y'all watch the video last night? Or we were breaking down the footage of the interaction? Go watch it. I showed it to somebody who I know in Atlanta is retired street. They looked at that video and said, they didn't even watch the whole video. They didn't even make it through the whole clip. They said, oh, he's sizing him up. He trying to assert his power. Yeah. He hijacked the conversation. Nope. He was touching on Coach Prime. Coach Prime wasn't touching on him. And I told y'all about that smile immediately before Coach Prime could get out of view, and how they were so focused on the bodyguards. Who introduces themselves to bodyguards? Now I'm gonna tell you something. It's about time for us to hear about this little case being cracked here. I think we finna get something. I think we finna get somewhere. Because I want you to think about it. Bucky wasn't there when it happened. There before, stepped him back up slowly to make it not look so obvious. How many people knew Bucky would not be in Cleveland? That's where you start. Whoever knew he wasn't going to be there, whether he told somebody, whether he was invited and he changed his mind, but all of this centers around Bucky's absence. Why? Because y'all know Bucky like that. And they do too. That's where you start. Whoever knew he wasn't going to be there. It said, did Cam Newton and Justin Fields the same way? Right. Yeah, it's not new. It said you can fool a lot of people, but you can't fool all of the people. You ain't going to fool everybody. And it's crazy. And you know why they've been getting away with this so long? Because they have an army of media to control the narrative. And then even with social media coming out, look at what's happening, right? It's only so many people want to know about this. Even in the whole Buff Shedeur Sanders speech. Now these damn AI channels be going in. They don't care. They just say whatever, but they also say whatever. So you have to fact check. But understand this. I heard Shannon said, talking about Stefanski yesterday. Yeah, I hate to say it, but I hate to call it sabotage. That's why this been going on so long. It is sabotage, Shannon. That's what it is. And he said it again yesterday. I'm like, Shannon, I can't listen to you. See, they have totally ruined him. He's scared to say anything. Why? Because see, he said everything at first. Then ESPN came his way. And then after ESPN came his way, all of these other sponsors came his way. And his content already started to switch up. Right? And then he gets on, ESPN. And then his content switches up. Then people felt like he was going in and doing Ocho dirty. Right? Then the whole thing came out that he, had 3 companies looking at his content for $100 million. He gets hit with a lawsuit. A judge, even though it was consensual, a judge gives that girl every dime he made in the NFL. He's scared. He gonna only say so much because he traumatized now. He can't afford to get sued no more. He already got raked over the coals once. Look at Gilbert Arenas. His own and popping. It was his show. Next thing you know, they got Skip on them. And Skip was being shamed. I don't care what nobody says because he was trying to blame Shedeur for the situation. And I have a copy of that. That's why I blocked him. But then he tried to switch it up. At the time, he was trying to get somewhere. See, now he different. What's the difference? Gil got arrested and they hijacked his show. And it's not even called Gil's Arena no more. So Gilbert got this show up. He gets arrested. He come back. It's their show. So now Skip can say whatever. Because he was trying to get somewhere. But now that he has gotten somewhere, he can say whatever. When he was trying to get somewhere, it was Shadure's fault. And Shedeur ought to ask for a trade. And he know Haslam. I said, why the hell you don't hold Haslam accountable or get him to stop this? But see, now he want to call for Stefanski to be fired. You think Skip don't know the agenda that's being pushed over there at ESPN? You think Skip don't know because he friends with Haslam? Ain't no way in the hell they firing Stefanski. Come on. He was trying to get somewhere. He was playing it safe, saying what they wanted to hear. Now he's somewhere. After somebody's show get hijacked, after they get arrested, and he can say what the hell he want to say, even though he know what the agenda truly is. He ain't afraid no more. If you think they don't want us to take over the quarterback positions, they don't want us to take over the conversations on social media. And saying he really is going to get what's coming to him. Facts. That is facts. That is absolute facts. And the owner has been quiet. Yep. Because it's his idea. And if y'all weren't with us yesterday, I explained the business hierarchy, how they conduct business. In typical, a lot of the franchises outside of what's his name? The Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones is his own GM. Why is that? Because the GM position is powerful and controls who plays for the team. So the GM is typically the owner, the GM, then the coach, right? Then the coach. If the coach could do whatever he wanted to do, Tomlin could have drafted Shedeur. But they fucked him. And he couldn't. Because there's a GM and an owner above Tomlin. In Cleveland, they put Harvard-educated Andrew Berry, the GM, who should be here, and Stefanski's here. It's like this. And each of them report to Haslam, not as a joint unit, separately. Corruption. Playing both of them. Using Haslam's melanin to get the black players devalued, to get Shadur lured in, to take the fall for Deshaun's contract. Berry had no kind of power to do that. 32 billionaire owners that are not black are not going to let Andrew Berry give Deshaun $230 million. And Stefanski keep him on the hurt, on the bench, out the way. I can't hire a black coach like I did Hugh Jackson to take down Deshaun, to take down Shedeur. It had to be somebody that would enjoy the process. That's why he was only paid the league minimum for coaches. That's Stefanski. Only Stefanski would get them through an 8-year rebuild because a regular coach, regardless of race, gonna want to win. The reason there are no black offensive coordinators is because no black offensive coordinator is gonna take down Shedeur, like Tommy Reese is helping Stefanski. That's why there are no black offensive coordinators. That's why they're trying to get rid of Mike Tomlin, and that's why Tampa Bay lost to the Saints, because they head coach is black. They only got 4 black head coaches, and they keep trying to run off Mike Tomlin, trying to run off the head coach that's black over there with Tampa, so that means they're going to be 2. And you think they cool with 17, 18, 19 black, 20 black starting quarterbacks? No. They're going to keep getting Stefanski's, which is why you keep hearing Gruden's name. Somebody going to find something for Callahan to do. Don't be surprised if that ball pop back up. This league, I told y'all when we started these conversations, I know y'all can't see it, but in about 7 years, if you black, it's going to be like, you still in the NFL? And I also reminded you that Major League Baseball, they can't fill up their stadium. Hockey, don't nobody care about it, and they just drafted 2 or 3 to 10 black people for the first time ever. NASCAR coming to Shiloh, coming our way, having all these black people out there. That's got to be one of Shiloh's least viewed videos, because once we learn the truth, once you show your AZZ, I don't know how my mic just went out mysteriously. Thankfully, I got it on over here. I can hear myself. But understand this, right? Private equity firms now having the opportunity to buy. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so yeah, it's back. It's back. Okay, so private equity firms now having the ability to buy into 10% of teams. And there's already three teams that have private equity owners. See, here's the thing. Several teams who did the limited partnerships, several teams have Black limited partners. The Browns just had Charles Woodson, but that was posturing. And I told you it was posturing. And now you see it's posturing. For the teams that didn't want Black limited partners, like the Bills, they changed the rules. The NFL changed the rules in 2024 that they could have private equity firms. Private equity firms are short term. When you a limited partner, you got to be 6 years, minimum 6 years in. So private equity firms, I was thinking about this last night. There's pros and cons to it. For the teams that want to stay racist, private equity firm is not the way to go. Like the Browns, that's why they got Charles Woodson. Teams who don't want Black limited partners, period. Private equity firms are the way to go, but they don't all come together. Let me tell you why. Private equity firms care about the money. And I gotta be muted, so I'm gonna say this again. If a private equity firm were involved in Cleveland, Shedeur would have been the starter for week 1 because of money. That's the benefit of it. But just like Charles Woodson has no say-so, right? They don't let private equity firms supposedly interfere. But I want you to understand something. If I own 10% of what's going on, do you really think I'm going to sit back and be quiet while you lose us money with Dylan Gabriel, while you lose us money with Stefanski, while you rebuild for 8 years and the fans start boycotting in year 2025 through 2029 and we get ready to build a new stadium? I'm going to have Shidurian out there and we're going to get this money as long as Shidurian can bring in the money. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's very possible that Haslam don't want to do any more Black limited partners because he really didn't want Woodson. Woodson was a posture, right? Woodson was a posture because they asked him in 2024, rushed him to meet Haslam at the Vegas Super Bowl, but didn't induct him, so to speak. Didn't bring him on until 2025 before the draft because it looked like we're not what? Because they knew what they were getting ready to do. And they knew we were going to say they were raped, which is why they got Cam number 1 overall. But wanting the Manning kid, trying to prop up the Manning legacy, could attract private equity firms. In 2026, if he surprised everybody and come out, or 2027, if he come out and he don't have to get no more limited partners that are Black, and neither does any other team. That's how you abandon that effort. Oh, I got private equity firms. Now I don't need y'all. See, the limited partnerships bring capital because you got to put up like $5 million. So they get to use that $5 million however they want in terms for the company, right? The investment. But now you can get 10% from private equity firms. I don't need these Black people no more. Yep, that's the plan. That's the plan. It said my uncle stayed in Cleveland and he stopped going to the games. He said it too much racism. Ooh, interesting. I need to hear more from people like that. You need to have your uncle email me. I want to see if I can interview him because my email address is whatshesad404@gmail.com. I would love to hear his perspective and hear how many other people feel like he do because they're talking, they were trying to figure out why Shedeur Sanders fans weren't at the games. I'm like, don't nobody want to deal with all of this racism. We can support Shedeur another way. Don't forget, 2legendarystore.com, Shedeur store. And thank you for customers at What She Said Sports. Let me explain to y'all how I see this, right? I don't have no problem In fact, I want people to go support Shedeur directly, right? Because when you look in your closet, all of your clothes didn't come from one place. All of your clothes didn't come from 2 stores. You have things in your closet, whether it's clothing, other shoes, whatever. Anything in your closet came from multiple places. So whether it's Well Off Media, WhatSheSaidSports.com, or TwoLegendaryStore.com, everybody can be supported. Everybody. So, and they got nice stuff. So we got nice stuff. So thank you for the support. But TwoLegendaryStore.com. Check it out. It said we ain't going nowhere. We support Shedeur. Right. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. The Manny kid is not going to be a quarterback. Watch what I say. What you think he going to do? Let me know. Let me know what you think. I doubt if the Mannies let their grandson, nephew go into the Browns. I think that's a done deal, boo. That's a done deal. That's a done deal. That's why they didn't get Shedeur. They working together. That's why you hear Rizzo, the Rizzo guy, talking about Peyton Manning coming in, running the organization, which is why they're trying to fire Andrew Berry. See, this is why you'll never let these people use you. They trying to keep Stefanski and fire Berry and put Peyton Manning in place to bring in, to make sure the Manning kid comes, then the stadium gonna open. Understand, that's the whole plan. Why do y'all really think it's coincidence that the Manning's hands are involved and Jackson Dart, Tyler Shaw, and over there in Cleveland? No, not a coincidence at all. Apparently, they don't want their football legacy to be drowned out by the Sanders football legacy, because they seem to be involved in every goddamn team that did Shedeur dirty. And I don't think it's a coincidence at all. So they have a vested interest in holding Shedeur back. ESPN Cleveland Prime and posted from Shiloh's video today. I had to look twice. It said, I'm starting to think the Browns set them up because they have the first pick. So they said that they just got them cheaper because it was in debt with Deshaun. They are not in debt with Deshaun. The insurance company paid Deshaun $46 million. They are not in debt. They didn't have to get Deshaun. I'm pretty sure if it's investigated, you probably gonna find out it's quid pro quo, and that's how they got that stadium. They're not in debt behind Deshaun. They make $110 million each year off the gate. They are not in debt behind Deshaun. He's been there since 2022. Had nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Did you hear Shadour's trainer says he's been coming training with him, making sure he's throwing his arms stay strong? No, I didn't. I heard him say he'd been training with Shedeur since junior year in high school. See that? And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Let me tell you, I've said this before, but I'm gonna repeat it. They don't want that young man to be successful. And I'm talking about Daryl Colbert Jr. And he talked about, how he got in the draft, he had the number 1 and number 2 quarterback. And then his 2 quarterbacks faced off. He got other quarterbacks too, right? Coming out of college, he got quarterbacks in high school. Why they don't want him select QB to be successful? I'll give you one last name. Manning Passing Academy. Jackson Dart, Dylan been through there, Tyler Shaw, and others. That's how they get the favor. So they don't want this kid with the number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks in the draft, because that's what he had. And if they would have been drafted the number 1 and number 2, regardless of who the 1 and the 2, that was going to bring him business, but it did anyway. The fact that they were in the draft, the fact that they were ranked as high as they were in the draft, it don't matter the corruption, because that ain't got nothing to do with skill. And like y'all been saying, what went into the wash is now coming out in the rinse. This dude is the truth. He been working with Shedeur since junior high. So will people give Tom Brady credit? Maybe. Blake, okay. But consistently, since the 11th grade, he been working with Shedeur. And he was working him, and he was working Robbie Ashford, Wake Forest. They cheated that kid. He was working with the guy at Virginia, Kyron Drones. This video, I'm gonna see if I can find it, and we'll look at that too. He had them all on the beach working out. Remember how he had Cam and Shedeur was working out on the beach when they were getting ready for the draft? So he had these guys, they weren't on the beach. They were somewhere, all of his clients, the college level ones, were working out together. Then he has filmed with all of the high school level. This young man is stacked. And I said it before we got to the draft. How the hell is it the NFL has not snatched him up yet? Because all his quarterbacks are at the top. The Manning Passing Academy, which is how Dylan got from undrafted free agent to the third round. I told y'all they name they hands in everything. Everything. Anything and everything you see. And everything you also toward the Sanders is posturing. Shedeur so smart, he knew. He said when Cam told him, yeah, about the offseason, he said, I got to see how the season gonna go first. He said, because we in two different situations. He knew. He also know he better run and get the help from behind that damn O-line. Yep. It said, did you hear Shedeur's trainer? Yeah, so yeah, I did. By Stefanski. It should be, but I don't think he going nowhere. I hope he does. It said, I think Baker Mayfield wasn't liked by Kevin because of his aura of being a black man who controlled Baker. That and Kevin Stefanski tried to turn likely Baker Mayfield to Dylan. And he said, I'm gone. Flacco already is kind of like a pocket passer type, right? And I don't know if he tried nothing on him, but I think Flacco got disgusted with, I think Flacco got irritated with Stefanski because of how he was running the games. And remember, Flacco had $13 million. His contract totaled $13 million with incentives. He knew Shedeur could get him there, so he gravitated towards Shedeur. He also saw what was happening to Shedeur. And I said in that preseason game, Flacco went over to Shedeur concerned about him. And I said, see, they got rid of Tony, but they ain't going to do nothing to Flacco. Then Stefanski benches Flacco after showing, interest in Shedeur. And what happens? He get traded. Now, they say that Cincinnati came calling for Shedeur, and they were like, we can't give you Shedeur. So they sent Flacco. They sent Flacco with a 6th-round pick, which meant they don't think much. That's an insult. You should have got him off your couch if you thought he had 6th-round talent. But they was pissed off with Flacco. And people said because when they were in London after he got benched the game before, he was palling around with Shedeur. Personally, I think that's what the hell got him out of Cleveland. It said, don't come for my boy Shiloh. I know that's right. It said Shiloh called him auntie. Yeah, that was funny. When Shiloh was talking about, for y'all that didn't see it, I'll play it again. We'll just talk through it. Shiloh was saying that the aunties, he was like, do y'all think I need to get a rug or something like that? And do I need to get carpet for his place? He said the internet auntie's gonna be like, yeah, nephew, you don't need them rugs to darken up the room. I'm like, Shiloh believe in his internet aunties. Y'all remember when he first got to Tampa? He said, I need an internet auntie to help me with the driver's license. Shiloh believe in his internet aunties, just like Shedeur. Shedeur got the aunties on his shoes that he played for. So they believe in their aunties. The rest of these kids coming out of college, y'all need to get y'all some aunties together. Believe me, you're going to need it in the NFL. Understand. That's why they hate somebody to my, I hate the aunties. I'm like, who the hell hates aunties? Nobody. I'm like, only people who don't want to be held accountable. Too damn bad. We ain't going nowhere.
Come on, bro.
What's going on with you, bro?
Shiloh's asking about Shedeur winning the thong. This is for people who were not with us previously when I shared this. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just tell a little bit of it.
I know you wasn't wearing no thong, bro. You wouldn't do nothing like that, right?
Nah, brother. That was called back tape, bro.
Yeah, but you remember we was in Paris and you had that little bag? The one that was like this?
Yeah, that's called fashion. You talking about the same one 2 Chainz had?
Yeah, so I don't know, what you're doing next. I don't know if the thongs is the next big thing.
So did you hear Shedeur? Did you hear Shedeur? Shedeur said, when Shiloh was talking about his bag, I picked up on that when I was watching it before I went live. He said, yeah, you mean the bag like 2 Chainz have? What you trying to say about 2 Chainz? Yeah, don't play that. Don't play. One thing I love about them, they got their own language. They know what they be saying. We don't have understand it sometimes. But they know what they be talking about. But he talking about, yeah, like the one 2 Chainz have? Yeah, you ain't gonna say that about 2 Chainz, so not tripping.
Nah, man, I know you not gonna do nothing like, bro. You Shedeur, bro. You the star quarterback for the Browns, man.
That's back tape, bro.
It's alright, fam. You know what? I'm gonna let everybody know, bro.
So it's back tape. For y'all that are wondering what it actually was, it's back tape. So it's a good video. Go watch Shiloh's video. Shiloh, I think he liked doing the content. We're gonna talk about him some more tonight. Again, we knew it was his lane, and I think he's enjoying it because he basically said that he likes this lane. So shout out to Shiloh. It says Shiloh should get area rugs. Tina say he should get area rugs. Y'all go vote for Shadur for the Pro Bowl. You have till December 15th. It said Jeff Blake, ex-NFL QB trained Shedeur also. Yep, since Truth Academy. So he's had people to help him, right? And I don't even know if Tom Brady, has he commented on Shedeur's any of his games, his wins or anything? Because he definitely was missing in action from the Raiders place. You thought he would have been there to greet his mentee. Select QB Athletics. The link is in the chat. Shout out to Natural Element. Is that Sphinx or? Oh, that's Elaine. That's right. She said her name not showing up properly. Elaine put the link in the chat. Manning beat Cam Newton in a Super Bowl. Wait a minute. Is that the Super Bowl that was in Denver? They cheated. Y'all, did y'all know that they cheated Cam out of a Super Bowl? Playing against was it Peyton Manning? And somebody told me you need to go watch Cam highlights. So I did exactly that. And I was watching it going, they just cheated Cam out of a Super Bowl. Yep. It's not new, guys. The injuries, the Tyrod Taylor, the Deshaun Watson, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, not new. Bryce Young, not new. Not new. That's why Shadur got to watch it. Because the agenda is still the agenda. I'm saying that. We almost 2 hours in. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. It said Jeff Blake. Yes, Jeff Blake helped him as well. That's facts. That's facts. Somebody, I remember that bag. Do y'all remember how Shiloh went in on Shadur with that bag? I was like, Shiloh was offended, bro. I was like, damn, Shiloh, you going in on Shadur. But like Shadur said, yeah, that's fashion. That's why he brought up 2 Chainz. Because you ain't going to say nothing about 2 Chainz. I saw that bag and said, damn, they got my boy. A lot of people were saying they got Shadur. No, they didn't. No. Shadur too intelligent for that. No. Like he said, you mean the bag 2 Chainz got? Right. 2 Chainz got that bag. And y'all know they didn't get 2 Chainz. So, is it me or does Shiloh be trying to insinuate that Shadur? Shiloh is just hilarious. Shiloh is just hilarious. 12 was wilding with that bag. That was the Louis Vuitton fashion show. It's that boy was getting too much money with that bag. Yeah, he was. Yeah. That is so funny. It said, I believe once Kevin Stefanski is fired, I believe 12 gonna get his brother on the team because they're gonna need him. Okay. The agenda. The league-wide agenda is still the agenda. The only reason they're going to do that is if they need it to prove they not whatever they trying so hard to be. If they need it, they'll do it. If they don't need it, they not doing it. Because remember the agenda, 17-32. Manning legacy over Sanders legacy. Shiloh is a Sander. In Cleveland. So they'll do it if they need it. That's why they didn't do it in San Francisco, because they don't need it. They'll do it if they need it. If the public pressure is there, and the public pressure is not there, because we see Shiloh has a better lane. It said, I'm glad they let Blake tell his story and tell how he traveled to Shidurian camp every week. And the journey has been on both. Oh, are you talking about when you say Cam, you said they let Blake tell his story? What Cam got to do with Blake? Let me know. I might be missing something. Let me know, Destiny, because as far as I know, I thought it was Daryl Colbert Jr. working with Shadur and Cam and the rest of the guys. Let me know. They always talking about Shedeur footwork. Yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, so somebody addressed that on X, and they were like, I'm not trying to be critical, but his footwork. I said, you know what? There's nothing wrong with his footwork, just like there's nothing wrong with his arm. Y'all just trying to find a way to down his success because you're guilty. You're guilty of benching a franchise QB behind a dud. You're guilty of taking a franchise QB off the draft board, devaluing him and defaming him and doing a character assassination against him and trying to humiliate him in front of 7 million people. There is nowhere to hide. There is nowhere to hide. Facts. Shadur belongs in this league. He's a light year better, as Greensburg pointed out, than Dylan. Stefanski wasted a whole season. The Browns fans could be overjoyed and celebrating Christmas with a playoff journey, even if it ended next week. But no, they shunned everything. They shunned Shadur. They shunned the playoff journey. It proves they've been rebuilding since 2020. In September, they said they're going to rebuild for 3 more years while Shadur, the franchise QB, was on the ground. It's not just fire Stefanski. It's fire Haslam. There was a wreck before Stefanski. They just hired him to continue the wreckage. Shiloh is funny. I think he's a prankster. He called the daddy on the phone over that bag. Yes, that's how much he was serious. He was serious about that. I'm going to have to go back and find that so we can laugh at that. That is hilarious. Shiloh wasn't playing about that bag. He didn't like that. You would have thought Shedeur got in the car with a virus and he was going to get it. He didn't like that at all. He wasn't even playing. I don't even think he was playing at the time. Instead, a lot of men wear a bag or a purse. I think a lot of men wear like a messenger bag, right? But that bag, Louis Vuitton, I don't know if I would have did that. Instead, the announcer on Sunday was slick, throwing shots at 12 about patting the ball all game. So there we go. I heard that too. I said, I didn't even answer on X when somebody mentioned that because that conversation was dead in the water, right? They tried to go in on his arm, patting the ball, knowing that his O-line was weak, them sacks. Now it's his footwork. He didn't play a perfect game. But Tyler Shaw, who had to be benched, is nominated for Rookie of the Week. Nobody else. I mean, Shedeur, but if they don't treat him, I'd be surprised. Of course, I don't want them to, but I mean, once people show you who they are, Coach Prime posted that. I was gonna share it. Coach Prime posted recently. This was less than 24 hours ago. Coach Prime posted I think it was when people show you who they are. Yeah, he posted several things. Of course, he said, when people show you who they are, but somebody posted about lies that they've been telling about Shedeur. They said, it was somebody named Hova. It says Shedeur Sanders doesn't get along with his teammates. That's a lie. It says, has poor study habits. That's a lie. These are all the lies that have been proven. It said, sits in the back of the room during team meetings. That's a lie. Remember, Rex Ryan tried to go in? Somebody need to investigate that agency that they all belong to. Did they ask to represent Shedeur and he said, no, thank you, I have an agency? And now everybody over there is conspiring? It's something that needs to be looked into. He has a weak arm. That's a lie. It said he lacks the IQ to lead in NFL offense, which is a stereotype against black quarterbacks, as effectively as Dylan freaking Gabriel. That's a lie. Now his footwork needs work. That's a lie. All of it is a lie. And they want to try to keep pushing a lie. But there's 12 million people out here to push back with the truth. And that's why they hate us. Too damn bad. See, they thought this was this lame. They're lame to do what they wanted to do. No. Absolutely not. All right, y'all, we're going to get ready to get out of here. We'll be back tonight. We will be back tonight at 10:35. This was good. So the truth is out there. Y'all keep pushing back with the truth because now they mad because they knew this day would come. They just didn't know it was going to be this week. The Giants fans mad because they should have drafted Shedeur. They don't want to admit if they drafted Shedeur, they themselves will be in the playoffs. the Saints don't want to admit if they drafted Shedeur, they themselves would be in the playoffs. Since nobody, including the Cleveland Browns, admit, had they started Shedeur week 1, they would be in the playoffs. And since nobody don't want to admit the truth, and they want to keep people out here with lies, to push lies, like it's a tug of war because we pushing back. Do you really think they want Shedeur to win these last 4 games? So stay tuned. All right, y'all, we'll be back. I'll be back at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. I'll see y'all later. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good one.